tell me why you've been so...
What we can't have, but I have got this yearning for you, for you. Why have you been so cold? Can't you see that I'm the one that'll show you you're worthy,
What's up, everybody? Good to be back. Welcome to episode 32 with none other than Kiana and the Sun Kings. That was some of their new EP, Chrysalis, which we'll be talking about today. Yeah, it's a nice Saturday here in Nashville, but don't get it twisted. This is Lush Louisville. What's going on? What's happening? Who's in here? What's up, Mitch? My guy, always tuning in. If you didn't see in the email, the show now, for this season at least, is going to be bi-weekly, so every other Saturday. It just gives me more time for, promotion and stuff to get things together. Because I'm a busy man, guys. I do a lot. But I appreciate everybody that tunes in, and we got a cool show coming up today. Ray Keys, who was on episode... I think it was 28 of last season, is in the band with Kiana and the Sun Kings. He plays keys, obviously. But so they're a 7-piece band, but they're gonna have 3 of the members there today. They have their Kiana, their vocalist, Fiona, their drummer, and Trevin, their sax player. Just gonna be representing and speaking for the band as a whole. A little bit about Kiana and the Sun Kings. They're from Louisville. They've been together since about 2017, but there's been some changes with the band and band members. A lot of people moved, stuff like that, but they all met at Bellarmine University, I believe. But and they've been working ever since. So, but I'm not going to tell you too much until we get them in here, but really, I don't really have too much to start off. I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, actually, shout out to the Phoenix Suns, man. If anybody is watching this and knows me from when I was little, that was my team. I'm not to sound fake, but I haven't really kept up with the NBA since I was little. But since, the Suns had, when I was growing up, it was like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Raja Bell, Boris Diaw, and Sean Marion. That was the team. And now everybody's saying that they're going to win the championship. So that's super cool. I had to text my mom, tell her to send me my Steve Nash jersey and my snapback hat from 3rd grade. So we'll see if it all fits. But, what's up, Tyler? Yeah, everybody's saying the Suns are going to win. Everybody. And I hope so. They're doing well. They're up 2-0 in the Western Conference, so So we'll see. But I just wanted to give them a shout out because that brings back a lot of memories. I'll have to find some pictures of when I went to see them play the Pacers when I was literally in third grade. And that was such a cool experience. But other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to get Kiana and the gang in here. Kiana and the Sun Kings in here. We were having some, bro, I usually just do FaceTime, but Zoom, so we're using Zoom now, which is fine, but my Zoom is always screwing up. So bear with me. We're getting stuff together here. Waiting. Well, Tyler, Mitch, what y'all got going on today? It's a nice little Saturday here. I'm for sure about to hit the pool after the show. Let me tell her that we're... I know that their sax player was getting there, and they were getting set up, so they might be doing that. But, well, while we're waiting, what's going on in Louisville? What's going on in Louisville, Tyler? What's happening? Actually, I think I'm going to be there next weekend to catch a show, but I'm not sure yet. All right, where's she at? Where they at? She probably have to send me a new link. Well, we're here just waiting. Just waiting. Let's
Yes, sir.
get everybody a little hype here. Yeah, I was wrong about... I sent everybody an email this morning. I had a total communication screw up. I was thinking that I was on Louisville time. So we're not starting 30 minutes late. We're starting on time, actually. Bro, where's she at? Come on. What they doing? There we go.
Okay.
Yo, what's going on?
Hey.
How you doing? What's up, guys?
Not much.
No.
What about you?
Wait, let me change my name to Kiana the Sun Kings.
Yeah, let me get y'all going here on all my...
1 second.
There we go, cool. Everybody can hear me? We good?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Your camera is not on, though.
Oh, yeah, here we go again. Here we go again with the camera. Where's the... hold up. There we go. There it goes. Can you see me now?
Yay.
Can you see me now? All right. Well, guys, it's Kiana and the Sun Kings. Welcome to Lush Louisville. Good to have y'all on here.
Great to be there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we got Trevin, Kiana, and Fiona, correct?
Correct.
You nailed it.
Okay, so you guys are the spokesmembers for the septet today. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all doing this. Yeah, I'm glad I could get y'all on here. So I gave the audience a little bit of a rundown, kind of who you guys are, and not too much about what you do, but they know you're a band and that you guys met back in 2017. But just kind of give us a rundown about who Kiana and the Sun Kings are and really what y'all do. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, the core group met back in 2017. Actually, Trevin and Fiona connected with us through various jazz jams and things that we played around town.
We were adopted.
Yeah, we were. They were adopted.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, we're like a jazz, soul, R&B kind of inspired group. And our mission is to just like play jazz and make music with people all around town.
Make it accessible.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice. Play jazz. I'm liking the sound of that. Liking the jazz. Okay, so where you guys met in where each of you, real quick, where did y'all grow up in Louisville? Or if you're not from Louisville, where kind of?
Well, that's the funny thing. None of us are from Louisville.
Doesn't matter. You live there
I grew
now.
up in Carrollton, Kentucky, but
Okay.
moved to Louisville to go to Bellarmine in 2014.
Okay, cool.
I grew up in Pikeville, Kentucky, which is as far east as you can go in Kentucky.
I know where that is.
And you would be one of very few people.
I've heard.
Yeah, and then I went to Morehead State University for college. Worked in some kitchens, got out of the music industry for a while, and then moved to Louisville in 2016. And then Kiana adopted me as her son.
And I was born in Hammond, Louisiana, and then grew up most of my life in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Oh wow.
And I moved up here in 2016 to go to school, to go to U of L. And then I'm like the newest member of the band, so I joined last July. It's
Been about a year.
a year, yeah. It's
Well,
been a
that's
year.
awesome.
It's our Fiona-versary.
So
Sun Kings versary.
nice. So you guys talk about when you when you met at Bellarmine, and what was that like? How did you? I know you said you guys kind of also met through various like jazz jams and things like that, but what was like the first kind of meeting together as a group at Bellarmine? How did you all get linked up? I know, Fiona, you said you just joined, but Kiana.
Yeah. So Bellarmine was sort of the start of the core group of the Sun Kings. That would be our guitarist Harris, our flutist Matt, and then our bassist Phil. And then we were just sort of trying to make a name for ourselves, like get outside of the college space. So we started going to what used to be Butchertown Social. It's now Gold Bar. But we would go to Butchertown Social for their jam, which was on either I think it was like the last Friday of every month or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled up at one of their jams, and actually it was our pianist Daquan that was like, "You don't know Trevin?" Because I was like, "Who is this saxophone player? Who is this guy?" And he was like, "Oh my goodness, you have to know Trevin." And so that was sort of the beginning of a beautiful connection with Trevin.
Right.
And then Fiona, I also think was through Daquan.
Yeah.
Daquan went to U of L.
The great lightning bolt that is Daquan.
Yeah. Daquan always like brings some of the like nicest people and best musicians around into our orbit. So
well, Daquan, I went to high school with Daquan, and he himself is just unbelievable.
Everybody loves Daquan. Everybody knows Daquan, and that's why he just brings in. He
knows what he's doing. He's
no, that's true.
Yeah, he's well connected.
Nobody wants to though.
Okay, cool. So, so after you meet and you all are together now, and, kind of talk just a little bit about, so that was in 2016, 2017, when you guys first kind of met at Bellarmine.
I think so the band, the Sun Kings formed in 2017.
Okay, cool.
But Trevin probably 2018. I think it was just a year later we started.
Yeah, it wasn't very much longer after that. You guys were doing your gigs at Red Herring at the time when I met you and Daquan at the jam sessions. And you're like, "Yeah, we get a weekly gig." I was like, "There's weekly gigs here?"
They exist.
I never got to play there with you, but I heard that you guys had a great time there every time.
We did, yeah.
But as far as I know, like when we met, you guys were already established as a group.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a funny story, but Kiana was like, "Hey, do you think that you could possibly write us some horn parts?" And that was kind of my first foray with them. Was like, "Okay, I'll write you some horn parts, and maybe I'll just kind of go on my way after that." I never left.
We kept him.
Yeah.
He stayed
so
around.
So 2017, the core group formed. We started playing a weekly gig, and then maybe about a year later, we met Trevin. And I think around the same time, we started seeing Fiona around, but didn't really start playing together until the house jam that I used to host in 2019.
R.I.P.
Yeah, Half Step House. Those were really, really fun jams. It was like, it would be, a musician would open, and then Kiana had a drum set there, and like all the equipment was already there. It was like one of the best jams, I would say, in Louisville.
Yes.
It's coming back.
We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
And it was where? You said it was where?
It's called Half Step House. It was just in my living room. I had a living room in Germantown. I used to run jazz jams out
Yeah,
of.
she tried to get NPR to sponsor it for a tiny desk, but it didn't work out.
It did not.
That sounds pretty cool, though. That sounds awesome. And how long did you have that going for?
Better part of a year. Right?
It was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then the January that things were starting to get shaky, I had to move out of that house. Then COVID. So.
Hate to hear it.
I know.
That sounds super cool. Definitely bring that back. I would love to check that out sometime.
It's coming. Yeah. It's coming.
Well, that's super dope. And so, as you guys are now a group, how would you? I know you kind of spoke a little bit at the beginning about kind of jazz R&B, but how would you describe the Sun Kings? What kind of music y'all make?
Ooh.
We're a genre bender.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Good.
We do. I always say jazz inspired or jazz influenced just because that's where our backgrounds lie, and we often refer to a lot of our role models and things musically, but I think that we dabble in and out of like rock, R&B, like I said,
fusion.
Soul. Yeah, I mean it is really like
It's a fusion.
a molding of our backgrounds.
Yeah, I could definitely hear that on the Chrysalis EP.
Yeah,
the fusion.
Just to toot our own horns for a little bit, everybody in the group is formally trained at a collegiate level in music. You don't necessarily need that, but man, it really helps when you got a group.
It
Oh,
helps
yeah,
to
especially-
communicate a lot.
Absolutely. You know, when you have all the terminology and everything, it just makes everything
Facts.
way easier, makes things
Sure.
go faster.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. So elaborate that on a little. What do you mean? So you're formally trained now. You guys, as a bigger group, I'm sure it just makes things easier, flow easier, and you're probably able, like
we're
you
also
said,
like used to those bigger groups and having to communicate in them because of school, like
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
having to communicate in like big band and
Small combo.
It's
Yeah.
like we have a lot of experience in that, so
Yeah.
it has helped.
Yeah, so much of the music that we make, or music that is of an improvisational nature in general, requires so much communication and like listening and respecting the musician you're on the stage with. So I think that school sort of sets the stage for that. But as Trevin said, you definitely don't need that formal training, and it's actually something we're actively trying to combat in the scene, is this idea that like you have to be trained formally or like at a collegiate level for it to work for you. So we're really trying to
Absolutely.
welcome more people who don't have the privilege of that formal training.
I think in all of the students that we've had in private lessons, especially kids, they're like, where do I go to music school? And it's like, well, are you sure you want to go to college, first of all? Because some kids just are not cut out for college, let alone a music school. That's a whole different beast.
Right.
A lot of kids are like, no, man, I just want to go practice in a practice room all day. Well, there's a lot more that comes with college than just going and playing your favorite tunes. You can't just play Birdland for 16 hours a day.
Yeah. We're getting off on a tangent now. We can,
No.
We can talk about like removing elitism in jazz for hours and hours.
No, that's well, go ahead.
advocacy.
No, seriously, go ahead. Like I understand what you're saying. Like, I went to college. I was an audio production major, and then I minored in music. I play sax, Trevin. I don't know if I told you that, Kiana.
My man.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't.
Yeah, let's see it.
I didn't. I got a little something, but I totally forgot to mention that when we were talking on the phone, Kiana. But so I was a music minor, and he was like, when I was in high school, I went to the youth performing arts school, and it was like we had a AP music theory class there, and I've said this before, but that class was harder than my AP theory 1 and 2 in college. And when I got to college, and after being at YPass, which is such a blessing, and I'm very thankful. When I got to college, I was like, this is so easy. It's literally everything that we did at YPass, and that those theory classes were like a cake, like they were so easy. And to me, and not everybody, is fortunate to go to YPass, but again, I'm very thankful that I did, because for one, it put me ahead and in the music school, but also, I hear what you're saying about, do you really want to go to music school? So do you think that, like, when you say that, Trevin, do you really want to go to music school? Why do you say that? Just because you could spend so much time?
Okay.
Yeah, I have a point, but yeah, you can.
Okay. the reason I ask that is because as much as I really am thankful for all the tools that I have at my disposal, because I went to college, I often wonder, what if? And then I see a lot of people in the city. There are so many incredibly talented people in this city who are burning up gigs. Can't read music.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah. At music school. They could play. They could play us under the table if they really wanted to.
And they can hang. So they can hang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, there's lots of people in the city that can hang. So when I ask a student of mine, like, "Hey, are you sure you want to go to music school? Do you have?" It really depends on what you want. How bad you want it. If you really want to be a professional musician, especially in somewhere like Louisville, and you have that drive and inner want to go out and make it on your own, you don't need school.
Exactly. That's what I was.
Resources are there for you for free.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if that was the point you were trying to make. Because I mean, I agree. If you're, and minoring in music in college was fun, and because I got to play my sax still, and I had stuff that I had to keep up with, and I was in jazz band for a year, and it was fun. But I totally agree.
There's the Coltrane poster behind him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
That's my guy.
Yeah. I'm sort of on the same page, but I think that there's value in both sides. So and in your learning style, and I think that what academia misses is individual learning plans for each student and tailoring needs to them. Because my learning style, I needed school. Like I needed somebody telling me what to do, when to do it, and how it works.
Right.
But as Trevin said, we have a lot of very close friends and people we work with that their learning style was they want to be self-taught. They want to seek out the resources themselves, things like that. And I also really enjoy the accessibility aspect of there being free resources out there because higher education is not accessible to a large part of the population, especially in America, specifically in America. So I think that it just depends on what you need individually. And like, I would never say like, I get kind of prickly at this, like F music school, you don't need music school, but I'm like, well,
Right.
I did, but I don't think that it's a one size fits all.
You imagine like if like all of your favorite musicians, like they weren't allowed to go to music school or vice versa. Like if they had to go to music school to be famous or they could not go to music school to be famous. Like, wouldn't that be kind of strange? So like,
and more than likely your favorite artist didn't probably go to music school.
Right.
You would be, sometimes you'd be surprised, but.
I feel like it's about half and half with mine. Like I look up to a lot of more academic musicians and I look up to a lot of self-taught. So I just think it's.
Yeah. And with the academic, like it can become, because this is the thing that where people are like against academic music learning, especially jazz. You're learning the same thing. Everybody's learning the same thing. Yeah. And so a lot of people are like, oh, it sounds so homogenized, and it's like becomes like a music school sound as opposed to the jazz sound. But that's like just one of the arguments against. But
and I think we're all music educators too, so it's like it's a give and take.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So I'm sure you have a totally different perspective on it, like for forming these opinions. Where are you guys? So you guys are music educators.
Yes. So I'm the music education manager for Louisville Public Media. So I do just community-based music outreach in various subjects of music in general. So it could be anything from songwriting to art making and music, things like that. It's community work.
I've worked as just a music teacher, drums, singing, piano teacher for a couple months, I would say. And then I also do a lot of work with Girls Rock Louisville with their camps and sessions that they put on.
I've been an independent contractor liaison / consultant for the educational world since I got out of high school.
And private lessons.
Private lessons, lots of marching band. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, private lessons mostly, and then come in as a clinician or as a guest soloist here and there for high school groups as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So you guys are in it. Now what's it what is that like being a music educator?
It's it's a mixed bag. It's a lot of different things.
It's a
I
mixed
would say
bag.
generally great, and I love sharing music with everybody, not just like the next generation music, but like of all ages I've taught. And it's just great. It's just like wholesome to just share what you have learned and just pass it forward.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't mean to be sappy, but I also I really love it. I think it's beautiful. Again, like all ages. Of course it comes with its set of frustrations.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
But I think that music at its core is the communication and a soul connection with someone else. And what better way than to pass on your soul connection to someone else?
Yeah, for sure.
They have had great experiences being teachers.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not going to be a poo-pooer here. I have had a great time teaching kids. I love the look when they finally figure out something that you've been trying to explain to them for hours. That the light bulb goes on. That's fantastic. I am less patient than they are. Is the problem.
It takes a great amount of patience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, as when I was teaching just fresh out of high school in different high schools for marching band camps, I was way more patient back then. I was, oh no, it's okay, Timmy. You can do it again. We've got all day. And then as I aged, I think I kind of got out of that mindset. I just, lost my patience. So this is why I don't work with marching bands anymore.
Trevin's our grandpa character.
Yes.
Like we have character arcs.
Curmudgeon.
And
yes.
he's the Scrooge.
I own a cane.
It's true.
I get
the wax it around.
Well, I gotta keep you in line somehow.
Yeah, you got to keep those kids in line somehow. I was just gonna say.
Right.
Oh
no,
my gosh.
I feel you. The dealing with kids.
No,
I don't have.
Kiana just got done with teaching a session for Girls Rock where it was just all MIDI, and the whole purpose of it was to make a MIDI composition at the very end and present it, and it was whew, that was I love always working with Girls Rock.
Yeah.
The campers are always the coolest kids, and they're so smart, and you just love to be the medium that helps them unlock their creativity, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
As you said, so Girls Rock, that's a camp?
Girls Rock Louisville, yeah. It's I think it's nationwide. They have different Girls Rock, or actually worldwide.
Yeah.
There's some in Canada, I know. Yeah, it's just this organization that helps put instruments in the hands of children of marginalized genders. So it's really cool, really great program.
Awesome. That's cool. So it sounds like, talk a little bit about as music educators and, outreaching to the community. And you had spoke to me, Kiana, about how important activism is in your all's group as the Sun Kings. Talk a little bit about that. What do you mean?
Yeah. So we've been sort of working on this. Let me backtrack. When we started Half Step House, the reason we started that, the reason we put that together was because we were going to these jazz jams, and there was almost this wall between the academic world and the world of people who didn't have the privilege of academia. And I would have people come up to me and they were like, I really love your music. I wish I could go to a show, but I'm not smart enough. I don't get it. And when I would hear people say that, it would just crack my heart in half, because I was like, that is so not the essence of the music jazz. Jazz to me, I've said it in all my bios. It's it's an oral representation of our humanity, right? It's the thing that we share before we speak. We sing, or we pat. We create rhythm.
Yes.
So it's this is in us. This is in our blood. So I was so sad to find out that people thought they had to be educated to come to our shows, not even to play with us, just to
listen.
come and enjoy a show. So we created Half Step House, which I was like, if you love jazz, you're educated, come up call a jazz tune. Or if you want to play your original music, there's a band for you. You tell us what to do and we'll follow. Like it was.
You got a chart? We'll play the chart.
Exactly. Musicians creating freely without judgment, sort of our tagline. And that's what we're working towards and hoping to pass on to the next generation of musicians after us, is just a more welcoming, less walls. Like there should be no reason why musicians can't create together. And
Amen.
I mean, again, like jazz, that's the heart of it. Like it's literally communicating pain and joy and whatever it is.
Well, could you imagine John Coltrane going to a jam session and vibing somebody being like, oh, you don't know my tune countdown?
Right. Exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly. Like the people we looked up to didn't do that.
No.
I mean, like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on camera. Miles Davis was an asshole, but he at least wasn't telling young musicians that they couldn't play with him,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
He was
Good point.
promoting them. Like
Yeah.
he would I know with, let's see, Tony, he would, I don't know, he kind of took him under his wing. Or he would take like younger musicians under his wing.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And they were learning from experience. He wasn't taking musicians
Yeah.
under his wing and being like, read this book.
Yeah, no,
you know,
yeah.
he was like, come to these gigs with me,
Yeah.
meet these cats. Like, here's how we do it.
And
you
that
know?
goes, and I love Miles Davis, and that goes along with, you know, what we were talking about, you know, going to music school and going, you know, or not. If you're good enough, go play these gigs, and you're only going to get better if you're in front of people playing gigs. Like I'm sure
That is, and especially in jazz, it's like,
Yeah.
you can only be so good by just playing at music school. Like you need to go out and like have real experiences with other players, with
Big time.
players you've never played with, or players that you've played with a bunch. Like
It's like a
of
good
them.
soup with only 2 ingredients. Like the soup's like kind of good, like, but when you put a little bit of extra zhuzheng in there, man, you put a little couple extra ingredients in there, it's a great soup.
Yeah.
Soup metaphors. Grandpa, I'm telling you.
Get me my cane.
I
great
think,
metaphor. Great metaphor.
learn the language, especially with jazz. You
Yeah.
have to learn the history and learn the language, because you can't, especially someone coming from outside of the culture in which jazz was born, like jazz is Black music, right? And if you're coming from the outside of that, you cannot play it without first educating yourself on the history and acknowledging where it comes from. But learn that history in whatever way works for you. Like if that's college, learn it that way. If that's YouTube, learn it that way. So I think definitely learn the language, but don't let anyone tell you that there's a correct way to learn it.
Then you're in on all the inside jokes. Whenever
That's
you go
very
to a
true.
jazz show and then everybody starts laughing after somebody plays something.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
You're
when somebody.
I know the lick.
I was just
they
gonna say.
reference-
I was just gonna say when somebody plays the lick. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Daquan is like, speaking of the lick, Daquan is like, sometimes he'll just play it like compulsively, like
Yeah.
he can't stop himself.
Yeah. So for people listening that don't know the lick in jazz, how would you describe the? I had two.
Ooh,
Yeah,
pick
go
me,
ahead,
pick
go
me,
ahead.
pick me. Okay, so before it was the lick, these notes were considered part of what is called common note language. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes, and it consists on a minor scale. It consists of the dominant seventh, the tonic, the second, the minor third, and the fourth.
Which means, for those who don't.
Well, that's you.
Okay.
You can explain that part.
Yeah.
But the lick originated from these common tones. They're very. If you play any of these notes in any iteration, any way, upside down, backwards, forwards, whatever, you can sound like you're playing in the key of the tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you go back through the history of jazz, you start seeing, this happened like back in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
You know, somebody, I don't really know who actually started this, but somewhere along the line, you know, of quoting people, quoting famous songs, the lick got started. And you just Google the lick. It's with 2 T's.
And then Trevin threw out a bunch of music words. So for our listeners who
Sorry,
are unfamiliar with
Patience,
those
right?
It's a lot.
terms,
It's a lot. Yeah.
it would essentially be like if there is a phrase or a word in that all languages recognize. So I feel like you could say, yeah, man, anywhere in the world, or hey, anywhere in the world, and no matter where you say it or in what context. Like I can say hey, or I can say hey, and depending on my inflection, you're gonna know what I mean. And so the lick in music is very similar to that. In jazz, anyway.
It's more like a dog whistle for jazz musicians.
Yeah, like it's become so commonplace. Like I think how it became a meme was like there was this one YouTube channel that was posting a bunch of compilation videos of just jazz musicians and all other types of musicians playing the certain lick, which if you haven't heard it yet, it sounds like it's like da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's like a compilation literally of just that grabbed out of different performances and recordings, like you know, all different iterations. And like the more you hear it, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But then jazz musicians were like, ha ha ha, now I'm gonna play that every solo I take. And now it's become kind of like a meme where you like kind of do one of these. Hey, don't play that.
You did the thing.
I feel like we have talked so much about the core of jazz and music ed. Let's talk about these kings, though.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. No, great conversation. That's a good point. I had two saxophonists on here almost probably a year ago now, Blaze Grudy and Kevin Dahl, and they talked about the lick, and it was just funny. I was interesting to see how you all would describe it. But yeah, totally. So yeah, let's talk more about you guys. So as a band, how's so you got this EP? What's your all's writing creative process for not just the EP, but how do you guys come together to create music?
I love that. Super collaborative, like highly collaborative. Usually one person brings in sort of a sketch of a tune or maybe just a riff or something that we can like take hold of, and then it kind of just like builds through the whole band. Like everybody's adding like, oh, do you want the groove to sound like this? And then, mostly has to do with the discretion of the person who brought it in, and then you're kind of referring to them for the song. And yeah, it's a really neat process. And
I feel reluctant to use this term because The Weeknd said it and he didn't, it was dumb, but but
shots
I was
fired.
going to say that our music works like a collage, but I really do believe that to be so, because one person will bring in like, here's my blue construction paper, and then Trevin's gonna lay over a clipping of a mountain that he found, and then like so I really do feel like everybody brings to the table a piece of their creativity. And sometimes people will bring in entire tunes, like Harris, our guitarist, for example. He wrote our song Metamorphosis, and he sort of already had a structure for that, and so I just wrote the lyrics. And we kind of embellished on the groove and added some things. I think you wrote the horn parts for that, is that right?
For Metamorphosis?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And
that was part of my adoption papers.
Yes,
Did it not start as a bossa?
It was just slow and different. Yeah, we just developed it, right? So yeah, like Fiona said, deeply collaborative.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So what's a typical rehearsal like for y'all?
Well, we wait on Daquan.
Oh, you put him on blast.
He's not even here to defend himself.
I know.
Yeah, he'll hear it. He loves me.
Yeah, so we get together once a week for about 2 hours. And we either will have a plan the week before. So I'll say like, okay, next week we have this gig coming up. So here's the set list. We'll hit, song 1, 2, and 3 next week. Sometimes it's a little bit more administrative. I have like a bunch of like business notes and things to bring to them. So we'll spend the first half talking and the second half maybe writing on a new song. So yeah, it's just dependent upon what's happening in our circle. But yes, the first 30 minutes, we're chilling. We're waiting on Daquan.
So come on, Daquan. Come on. Who's in charge of the rehearsals? Who's the leader here?
So that's the great thing.
Yeah.
Kiana runs things. Things.
She's
right?
like has the schedule. She keeps us in track, but also I would say Daquan also keeps us in track.
Yeah.
Unless
keeps
Daquan
us-
wants
Hey,
to goof around.
I've seen.
Very true.
I don't want to keep putting Daquan on
That's-
blast.
no,
when
but
I'm not
he-
here.
Yeah, you goof
He-
around.
No. Go ahead.
He does really, I think, with the rehearsals we've had without Daquan, like sometimes they can get a little more off track. But
That's my fault.
I've seen Daquan get pretty serious in rehearsals before. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say.
I think that I typically come with like the rap sheet of our schedule, our agenda, so to speak, and then we.
Well, that was what I was going to say. That's
Yeah.
kind of the funny part is like, yeah, I think Daquan does kind of have an ancillary kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
get back on track. But I think mostly you run things. But once you get most of your administrative things out of the way and we're in rehearsal, that is when the floor opens up. Sorry. That's when the floor opens up and things become way more collaborative. Like that's when your opinion, I think that's when our opinions hold their own weight.
Yeah.
Especially like, if we're talking about like, what are we going to call our next album? You're like, I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
You can veto that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But, as far as like a chord change or like, should this hit on one or anticipate the one, that is where it becomes more like a town forum.
And it's also usually, like I was saying, like we're referring to the person who came with the song. Like a lot of times the person whose song it is, if we're writing it, they're kind of in charge for the moment.
Yeah.
And again, like this is my soapbox. You'll get tired of me saying the word communication, but it has been so important in our process to listen and respect each other, not even while we're playing, but it's like, of course, like we've been together so long. There's so many of us. We're all like very opinionated and like have something to back it up. So there are times we get frustrated at each other, and it really takes being like, yo, why are you mad? And then talking through it and just getting through it and being open enough to have those difficult, weird conversations. Because, when two people are upset at each other in front of a whole group, like it already is an energy. But yeah, so I think just we are so good at communicating with each other at this point. It's not always been like that.
Yeah, I think it's very healthy how we run rehearsals and how we deal with stuff like that. I think it's great for longevity of the band.
Yes.
Well, that's good. It's good that you all have, and the fact that you're able to admit, like, yeah, we get frustrated at each other. That happens. That's gonna be, especially as a group. Of course, y'all are gonna,
7
and
people.
Anybody that says that they don't deal with that in a group are lying.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Or
they're
they're being
communicating.
passive aggressive.
Yeah.
And they're not long for this world.
Yeah.
So talk, I mean, a little bit about that. Do you remember the first, since you've been a septet, all 7 of y'all, have there been some times where you're like, wow, I'm really mad at you, I kind of just want to leave? Like what's the process to understanding, communicating with each other in a rehearsal? What is that like as a bigger band?
It's knowing yourself so that you can go to that person after and let them know what it was really about. So recently, actually, Trevin and I had like a weird thing in rehearsal. And immediately after, like, we hadn't even pulled our cars apart, like left the parking lot. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I internalized this because when I'm wrong in front of a group of people, it makes me feel stupid. And then when I feel stupid, I get defensive. And he was like, actually, I'm having a shitty day too. Yeah. This, and this happened. I didn't even think that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like knowing that these issues are outside of us and not pointing personal fingers. Because if I had said like, Trevin, you suck. You came in here with an attitude and you're blah, blah, blah. It totally would have been an unproductive conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have laughed at you, and that's not going to be good for you.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's knowing yourself and knowing when to remove your ego, which, again, is a really difficult thing. It takes a lot of time, but it's necessary when you're working with people in the capacity that we are.
I'll brag on Kiana for a little bit. She's very good at that.
Really great.
Removing.
Honestly, when it comes to resolving conflict in a group sense, and music's on the table.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will principal them. I'm like, stay after class. If like I notice weirdness between two members.
Okay, now hang on.
Oh,
she has done that.
You did.
Good
You're like,
Lord.
I will see you after class.
Yeah. What?
And then I'm like, hi, it was weird. Discuss.
Yeah.
It's always me in the principal's office, man. Come on.
So removing your ego, that's a good point, you know.
Yeah.
Again, especially in a big band. I was just curious what that so like did that take a while for y'all to kind of gel with each other even when you're mad at each other?
Yes. There was a lot of, I don't want to say passive aggression, but there was a lot of like, if one member got angry and told another one, then that member would be like, actually, you know, so-and-so's upset. Why are they upset? Well, because you did X. Well, why didn't they tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like people who came in closer than the other. So for example, like, I'm not talking about a specific instance, but like Matt and Phil are closer, our bass player and our flute player, right? So if they had an issue with Trevin, they would talk about it amongst themselves rather than just being like, hey, Trevin, this hurt my feelings for X reason. Not because they were trying to spite him, but because they were just closer. That's how people dealt with it. So we sort of had to work out those issues where we had to like say like, yo, we're going to lay it all on the table, even if it's going to be uncomfortable. So yeah, it took a while. It was a long, uncomfortable process.
It's growing though.
It's growing, and it's because we're friends.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we are all pretty tight now. Like, we're just like, if something's bothering us, like, it's okay to just say it to the person that's bothering you.
Trev, you played the lick 9,000 times on 36 courses of that solo. Could you not do that again? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That's interesting. That's definitely, you know, something that, I mean, as a group you have to deal with all the time. So as, you know, you're in rehearsals and you've got your, you know, you're collaborating, tell us about some of these songs on your album, or sorry, your EP Chrysalis. Who did the majority of the writing, and what was it like recording at La La Land? Big question I wanted to know. Guys, if you're not familiar, I mean, I know you guys, people listening, La La Land is a studio in Louisville. I'll pull up a picture of it here, but it is, go ahead and tell us, what's La La Land like?
La La Land has the most incredible vibe I have ever experienced.
Disneyland for musicians, man.
That's important, like walking into a space and feeling comfortable enough to lay your entire heart on the table.
Yeah.
Kevin, I mentioned this to you, but I had taught 2 songwriting camps with a couple different organizations. And the culminating project of that camp was that the students got to go to La La Land and record their the pieces they had written over the week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first experience at the studio. And I walked in and I was like, we have to record here. Like just the feeling when you walk in that place. And Gautier is, I think, the lead engineer there. I'm not sure if that's correct. I've never met another engineer there, but
I don't know if anybody else works there.
Yeah.
Sorry if you do, if you're listening to this. We love you too. But
we love you. But anyway,
we've only ever seen Anne.
Anne is incredible. It was very important to me to meet another femme in the music industry to be able to support Anne. There are just so many men in the industry, and it was important to me for our environment to be completely comfortable.
Yeah, the vibe is definitely set. I would say a good portion of the vibes that are coming off of there are from Anne, because she's just very chill and will work with you and really knowledgeable. So it's great.
And
watching Anne's process was really great, and also really respectful. Like, she will say like, hey, you wanted it this way, I'm trying something new, is that cool? Here's why I'm trying it. If you don't like it, great, we'll do it the other way, you know? So she's very great about recommending something as her professional opinion without telling you have to do that thing.
Yeah, she is so how do you say her last name? Do you know? It says Anne Gautier. Yeah. Now I recognize that. Yeah, so some good points there, Kiana, about, you know, you're saying there's a lot of men in the industry, and, you know, so Anne is their lead engineer, correct?
I think, but that's just because she's the only person we work with. I'm actually not sure.
She's our lead engineer.
Yeah.
Well, that's really,
the
really
Sun
dope.
Kings go to.
Yeah, super dope. And what's the, you know, the recording room like there? I've been in there, but tell us what it's.
I think it used to be an old garage, like where a bunch of cars would be kept there.
Yeah.
So it's like really roomy. Like the ceiling is what? How many feet?
Probably about 30-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like
cold.
Yes.
It's so cold. But yeah, super high ceilings, big spacious room. You can really, this was like in the middle of the pandemic, so we could all easily social distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a big
Yeah,
open space.
sorry.
When I went there for the first time for John Woo's producer corner, I was like, wow, why have I never been to this studio before?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say we recorded Chrysalis during COVID. It was in November we recorded it. So Anne was very good. She measured out 8-foot spots. So like we were 8 feet apart. I was in a vocal booth. So like, because I was like out and singing, I was completely isolated from them. And that's another thing I want to note about La La Land. For our music, it just has to be recorded live where we're all playing at the same time.
Why do you say?
Of course, we went back and added additional layers and stuff like that. But for the general core of things, I don't think it works unless we're musically talking to each other, unless we're communicating.
Absolutely.
And we had to, La La Land space allowed us to be able to record it live.
So speak on that. Your music has to be recorded live. Why do you say that?
We build on each other. It's improvisational in a way that the way that things, like if a lot of energy is starting to be built up, or if we want the energy to fall back down, we have to be listening to each other and constantly, like I said, like speaking to each other musically through the process.
For example, I'm tooting my own horn here for a second. On Cold, our recent single off of this EP, there is a slow build that has to happen with this solo.
Mm-hmm.
And without that, it just really falls flat. So when we were doing this in rehearsal, we were like, man, this is building to this like really high energy precipice. What can we do after this to really give it like, the oomph? And that's where you get like the break time, and I do my squeaky thing up there in the stratosphere.
Hey, well, let me say,
we do some hits and then leave just space.
Yeah.
And it's very dramatic because Trevin's all by himself, and then we just come in with the hits like every couple bars, and
imagine doing that layered over top.
Yeah.
Say that's what
I was gonna say.
Like, imagine doing that without the band there, kind of pushing you in the moment.
Yeah.
That's a kind of synergy that you cannot get in a normal studio setting where you're. All right, man. I'm gonna punch you in at 2:03. Here we go. Boom.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
point.
I think that if we had laid the track down and then Trevin played over it, the energy of his solo would be completely different.
You're about to say worse, and I appreciate you for not saying worse.
No, I didn't know I wasn't going to say worse.
I heard that sax part on there. Super dope song. Did you? And I'm hearing a part in there. It sounds like I'm not sure, but you might have been playing over yourself. But it sounded like your sax was almost harmonized, like you had.
I gotta give credit to Casey Powell for that idea.
Our producer, yeah.
Casey Powell, he looked at me one day in his studio and he was like, "You mind if I try something kind of cool?"
Yeah, well, it sounds super cool.
Yeah, Casey Powell and our guitarist Harris kind of collaborated on that because Harris brought in one of his example. We all brought in example albums of like how we wanted our thing to be mixed to the producer, just to give him an idea of like feel. And Harris brought in a Robert Glasper album called Black Radio.
Yeah.
And there is a harmonized sax solo, and he's like, "This could be cool. I don't know." Fast forward to when we're mixing Cold, and Casey just throws it on Trevin's saxophone, and we were all like, "What?"
Yeah, it sounded. As soon as I heard it, I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, man. Now I have a pedal for that.
Yeah. Now he can do that.
Did that inspire you to get
that? Absolutely was what put me on the path for that. Yeah. Thank you, Casey Powell, Harris. Love you guys.
Well, that's So I was playing Cold at the beginning of the show when we're starting the starting soon screen. I was playing that, so listeners got to hear some of it. But so talk a little bit more about Chrysalis and the EP. We got 6 songs. It looks like, correct?
5 or 6.
I guess the intro's kind of there's 6 tracks, but
it's 6.
Yeah.
Well, we have Worthy, Cold,
Count on Me, Anything You Want, Metamorphosis,
True American.
Oh, that's my song.
So who's writing these songs, and what's tell us about it?
So Chrysalis is one of 2. So when we went to La La Land, we actually recorded 2 EPs at the same time. And it was a culmination of the work that we had written over the past 3 years, even through like bringing in Trev and Fiona. And it's like, I think an exploration of joy and pain and depression and abuse, and using music as a catalyst to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Very much, very true to the title of this. I think in the time that we got together as like this core group, and the time that we started recording this, a lot of us went through some really major life changes.
Yeah.
Career changes, relationship changes, location changes. The greatest thing I think to come out of that was everybody kind of stayed true to their core selves, and everybody seemed to grow as people from that instead of the opposite, which I, you don't want that. I think it's very self-explanatory though. This was us becoming butterflies.
Yeah. EP2 is Monarch, so we'll be fully formed and beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Out of the cocoon.
Super, super dope.
That's the first time you've said Monarch.
Drop.
Oh, God.
You heard it here today.
People are gonna wish they watched episode 32 of Lush
Oh, people are gonna watch it for sure. That's awesome. So the second album, or is it gonna be an album, or are you gonna have?
It's an EP.
It's an EP,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
They're gonna
Monarch.
be like equal, so it's 6 and 6.
Man, that's awesome. You heard it here first.
Yes.
It's coming.
That's super dope. So now the Chrysalis is out. What's the response been like? Who's?
Oh my gosh. It's been nuts.
Can we talk about
The
Headliner
release show.
Can we
Release
talk about
show.
that?
Well,
Go
we
ahead,
released
yeah.
it a week before our release show.
Yeah.
And just to hype people up, get the music out there, let people know,
Right.
Raise some awareness. And then at the show, everybody was singing along. It was crazy.
It was surreal. I mean, we sold nearly 200 tickets, which I was so scared about selling tickets. That venue, Headliners is huge, like just such a big venue.
Yeah.
We were so honored to be able to play there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, you walk out on stage and it's like miles and miles of people, and the first like 4 rows of them are singing the words to our songs. I was like literally gap-mouthed on the mic looking over at Trevin like, do you see this? Like, I was like, am I dreaming right
What's that like? What's that?
4-letter words there.
now? It has been received really well. We're so grateful to the people, to
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Yeah, please keep listening to it and bumping it and telling your friends about it.
I think we're close to what 2.5K streams so far.
We're at 3.
3, excuse me.
Which isn't, that's like small to some, but that's a big deal for us. It's
It's a big deal, man. Everybody's, there's a lot of people streaming a lot of stuff, but if you're getting streams, man, I feel you. That's a
first
big.
EP out on, and we released we released 2 singles before this.
Yeah.
And then this is the first EP, and
it's an accomplishment, regardless. I'm sure
Absolutely.
it's one of
But
those
the
things.
The streams just keep going up. They're in the K range.
Go stream Chrysalis right
They're
now.
in the K. They're in the K
play it
range.
while you're asleep.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for y'all. That's super dope. So that's cool. That was at Headliners. I haven't been there since I was a senior in high school.
Oh wow, they redid it. It looks great.
Oh really? I'm sure it does. I mean, it was cool before, but I saw Vince Staples there in when I was a senior. But I haven't been back since. But you've got a big show, I've been told, coming up on July 30th. Where is this at?
Yes, so it's at Mile Wide Beer Company. We teamed up with Mile Wide to create a Sun Kings themed beer.
Really?
So there is a beer being released that day called the Caterpillar's Mojo. It has
super cool.
artwork
Wow.
by Kayla Lewis on the can. It's a passion fruit blonde ale.
I'm so excited to taste it.
Yeah. So we made a beer, and we're releasing the beer, and we're having a concert to celebrate.
That is awesome.
Quinette will be DJing in the beginning and the end, so you'll get to like shake your booty a little bit after the Sun King show.
Nice. What about during? Nobody's gonna do
yeah,
that.
it's also during.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. You can't do that.
Obviously.
That's not allowed during our shows. We don't allow that.
So the beer, will it be? Is it just sold like as a draft, or will it eventually be?
It's cans.
Everywhere.
It is?
It's draft. It's cans. I have some friends who own bars. I'm hoping that they'll carry the beer at their spots. So yeah, it'll be everywhere.
Y'all making money from that?
No, come on now.
In the way of, there's a QR code from our EP on it. Scan it and listen to it.
There you go. That's something. But that's dope. That's seriously super, super cool. Y'all have a beer. That's awesome. I'd love to try it.
Yeah. It'll be
love
like
to-
endless advertising, and if it does well, they'll keep making it. So
Right. Absolutely. That's awesome. Super. Wow. You guys are gonna have your own beer, and it's
I know.
it's coming
Yeah,
out.
not many bands can say that.
Are you? And it's coming out on the day of your performance, or it'll be given to y'all on the
Yeah.
day of your performance?
Performing for the release of the beer.
Yeah, it's like our celebration of, it's like a continual celebration of Chrysalis's release and the release of the Caterpillar's Mojo.
This is also the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Mile Wide is having live music outside of the venue.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's the first time. So this is going to be a large experiment, so we really need a lot of people there.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need a good sample size.
Yeah, they've had some really cool, like they had a drag show there and things like that, but I don't think I've ever seen a band
It's
there.
all been inside.
Oh, the drag show was outside.
Was it?
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah,
not
but
a
yeah,
band.
true, not a band. But anyway, yeah. It's gonna be really great. We're super grateful to Mile Wide Beer Company.
Love you.
Yeah, for sure. So how many shows have y'all played now, or after that show?
What kind of question is that? Come on, dude.
I don't know, I started last year and
Right.
I can't even count. So I don't even
So a lot. Well, that's great. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
play live.
It must be thousands of shows. Yeah, like
I mean, are you asking
lot of
how
shows.
many shows? Sorry.
no.
How many?
Go ahead, go
are you
ahead.
asking how many shows the Sun Kings have played?
Yes.
Yeah, that's got to be thousands.
That's great.
Thousands or hundreds. It's
That's
a
great.
lot of shows. We play like
Millions.
oh my gosh.
Millions.
He's exaggerating. but
Hundreds of millions of shows.
It's
No.
been a lot of shows. It's been a lot of shows.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can think about it like this: when the world wasn't on fire, there was at least 3 to 4 gigs a month.
Yeah.
I would say that's
And-
pretty. I mean, now that shows are coming back, it's gonna come in to be pretty standard.
Yeah.
It's a little hotter than it was before the pandemic.
It
too,
actually
honestly.
is. Yeah. I'm having weekends where I'm playing like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's been quite a few. We used to have a weekly gig. So every single Saturday we would have that. And then, yeah, like Trevin said, I think it's been maybe 3 to 5 gigs a month
Mhm.
for the past.
And I don't want to come off as obtuse, like we've played so many
Obtuse.
gigs.
Nah,
no, we are very blessed to have this many gigs.
For sure, yeah.
It is
Absolutely.
just insurmountable to calculate that with.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
all of us also play in different groups as well. So
Yeah.
it's everything starts blending together, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I feel you. That's awesome, bro. And you're out there, you're playing, you're gigging, you're doing your thing. So keep that up, seriously, guys. Y'all getting me inspired here. I might have to.
Well, good.
Hey, get that sax up. Let's get some
Yeah.
lessons going.
Yeah,
Play
come
the
on now,
sax.
come on. Yeah, Trevin, how long you been playing sax?
I started when I was 11 years old, and I'm 30.
Oh, okay, wow. So, geez, wow. So about 19 years. I started. Yeah, sorry, not to like, imply anything. That's a long time. That's a long time. So you, and I mean, I'm hearing
Yeah,
you. I'm hearing you on these
just
records, but you sound good.
Being with Grandpa corner over here.
I started when I was in 5th grade, so I was like 11, and I'm 24 now. So I've been playing for, I mean, it's 13 years. That's yeah. So I was 11 too when I started.
Yeah.
Did you start in like your elementary school band?
6th grade. We
Yeah.
didn't have elementary school band where I'm from.
Yeah.
Well,
In
you
Pikeville.
know, we don't have many things out in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have,
that's true.
Meth.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
No, you're not
Eastern
kidding.
Kentucky is
You're not
beautiful.
kidding. I know that you're not kidding, but
It's a beautiful place to raise a child.
Yeah.
Trevin's from there, so his perspective is different. I don't want to stereotype it for those who aren't from there, though.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
A lot of culture.
A lot of greenery, a lot of lush greenery.
Hey!
So
Hey.
Good hiking.
they know, yeah, exactly. Well, guys, I can't thank you all enough for coming on here. I wanted to ask you guys, got any last things you want to add? Closing comments? Anything else you want to talk about or plug or
Stream Chrysalis.
Stream Chrysalis. Please come to the show at Mile Wide Beer Company on July 30th at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay, cool. Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad I could sit down with y'all. And let's shout out the rest of the members of the band. So there's 4 other members.
Yes. Shout out to Matt McKay, our flute player. Daquan Ray Keys Tunstall, our keys player, who has his own solo project. Cool music. Harris Boyer, our guitarist. Philip Bullock, our bassist.
Yes.
Yeah, that's everybody.
That's everybody. Well, shout out to y'all and shout out to the Sun Kings. And again, thank you, Trevin, Kiana, and Fiona for being on here. But before you go, I got a little segment here I call the Lush Lockdown. I'm going to put you in here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about Louisville, totally opinion-based. Since there's 3 of y'all, I'm going to give y'all a total of 20 seconds. Oops. Here. To totally opinion-based questions. Don't be nervous now.
Are you doing one question or more than one?
I'm gonna do 3 questions total, but since in each one of y'all answer, and I'll give you 20 seconds and just
one
answer.
Question?
No, we all answer for each question, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna ask 3 questions, and each of y'all will answer in that 20 seconds. This is the first time I've done this with so many people. So no. All right. 20 seconds here, not minutes, seconds. All right. You are in Louisville. You have $10 in your pocket, and it's a Friday night. Where are you going to eat? You got 20 seconds.
I said heart and soy.
Heart and soy?
I guess, it's Friday night. I want Saphira. I don't know.
I keep my $10 and I cook in my house.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Fiona, where?
Not enough money.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
You get the Vietnamese sandwich, like $6, $7.
Where is it? It's heart and what? Soy?
Heart and soy.
Where's that?
It's on Bardstown.
Okay.
Across from, what's that burrito place? Burritos as big as your head.
Mabamba.
Oh, that's a great.
Across from that.
Maybe I go to Mabamba.
And Kiana, where are you at again?
It's a Mediterranean spot on 4th.
Okay. And Devin's at his house. Okay. Saphira.
Trevin.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Sorry, Trevin. I'm doing you wrong, man. I'm calling out your age. I'm my bad. I'm giving you a hard time. All right. Second question. Since you all have done lots of shows, favorite venues in Louisville. Favorite venue. You got 19 seconds.
Oh, I do like Z-Bar.
Zanzibar.
13,
I really
12.
loved Headliners. That was so awesome.
Headliner. Yeah. Ooh, Headliners was my favorite, I think. But Zanzibar, we can't play Headliners every week.
The perks of Z-Bar is that it has a kitchen, and then you get discounted food whenever you play
the food.
Also, special mention: Jimmy Can't Dance, R.I.P.
Oh, dude, swear, yo, I've been there a few times for their Christmas rendition of the Peanuts. Dude, so much fun. Yeah, I can't. It's crazy that they closed. Yeah, they had some good musicians come through there. I know Daquan's played there a few times.
Yeah, we've been there a few times.
All right. Last question. Simple question. If you don't like either of these groups, pick one, or I'm gonna give you 8 seconds. All right, UK or U of L? Go.
U of L.
U of L, easy.
Oh my God.
We're not from.
Boo. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I would pick Duke over UK.
I don't care about sports.
Oh, dude, Trevin, don't break my heart anymore. Come on. No, it's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, now.
This is the end of the sports conference.
Okay, keep talking, Trevin. Keep go ahead. No, it's funny you say that because my mom, dad, brother, and my cousins and my family, they all went to UK, but I went to Middle Tennessee State. So we just went to the beach for a family vacation, and I bought these University of Tennessee swim trunks because UK and UT are in the SEC. And all UK fans hate Tennessee, so I bought these swim trunks and wore them it was so funny.
That's funny.
But
Excellent.
but the Duke comment, Trevin, might be a little too far. The Duke comment might be a little too far. That's funny though.
It hit a nerve.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That's funny.
That
Well,
one's C4.
Kiana and the Sun Kings, it has been a pleasure. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. You guys brought up some good points through, music education, talking about your process, communication as a big band. I really appreciate y'all coming in here to tell us about that. And, my goal here is just to shine light on you all and creatives alike to, get you more recognition.
Thank you.
Because y'all
Thank
deserve
you
it.
so
Y'all
much.
Thanks
deserve
for
it
having
sure.
us.
Absolutely. Come on now. Absolutely. Tell your friends and any last closing comments, any advice to
Hey,
Creative.
Advice.
Friends don't let friends go to UK.
Oh my gosh. Real advice. Let
Real
me
advice.
think.
ending stream now.
Take care of yourself.
I swear. Yep.
Drink water.
Drink water.
Wait, there's more. Respect your fellow musician, and
Lift up each other.
yeah, lift each other up.
I would say with music, don't take it too seriously,
Yeah.
but don't not take it seriously.
Yeah,
For sure.
You got to find a good balance.
find your balance.
Awesome. Find your balance. I like that. Don't take it too seriously though. I got you. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And this is the live stream version of the video, so it'll be up immediately on the YouTube channel. Then I'll do a quick little edited version, and then later in the week I'll do a condensed version of some of the highlights. So I'll send you the link to that when those are all up, and
Excellent.
Cool.
share it with your friends. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for
You too.
thanks for helping
Thanks
me
so
out.
much.
Yeah, and thanks for the Zoom link, Kiana. You,
Oh, yeah.
you
Gotcha.
saved me. You
Of
saved
course.
me. Well, y'all be safe. All right. I hope to hear from y'all soon.
All right.
Peace and
Okay,
love.
Bye.
Peace. Oop. Not now. Man, good episode. Lots to talk about. Lots to do. So yeah, be sure to stream Chrysalis, Kiana the Sun Kings. Good EP they've got going on. A lot of good things. I didn't know they had been doing so many shows, but they've been together for a while, so that makes sense. And even Fiona was saying that she'd been with them for a year and she couldn't even remember how many shows they'd done. So, be sure if you're in Louisville, catch their show on July 30th. It's been super fun. This is episode 32 of Lush Louisville. Shout out to my roommate Bishop. He helped me compose that little jingle there. Anything else? So we'll be back on July 24th. Big guest. Let me just say a couple of Grammys. That's all I'm gonna say. But so be sure to tune in for that. Yo, thanks, Mitch. Thank Tyler, Mitch. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody that tunes in and watches, thank you all. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. Sorry for the miscommunication today. Again, I was thrown off. I said we were gonna start 30 minutes late. Well, we didn't end up doing that. That's my bad. But yeah, every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And tune in and just be on the lookout for the emails. And appreciate y'all. I'll see you all in 2 weeks.